Hi guys! Welcome to my channel Pretzel Cosplay. Today I have another tutorial video for you. Maybe you know my Demonhunter costume and also my Dragon Lady. Both of those costumes have some resin horns on them. And I want to show you how I made them. So you can cast your own horns. So as you can see, this horn is hollow, which makes it really lightweight and nice to use in costumes. Learn more about crafting with Worbla by buying my book, and also be sure to check out my ebooks. You can find a lot of detailed tutorial books in my webshop. And my digital patterns. The digital PDF patterns are ready to print, so you can use them for your own costumes. I begin with sculpting the shape of the horn. For this I use Monsterclay. Monsterclay is a really nice clay that will never fully harden, so it will always stay soft, but it will still be rigid enough to make molds of. If you want to soften the clay a little bit to work with it, you can heat it up by either laying it in the oven, warming it up with your hands, or heat the clay up with a heat gun. And now the actual two-part mold making starts. If I would just pour silicone over it, I would get a one-part mold, and that is not what I want. I really want a two-part mold. So I first need to sort of mimic one part of the mold with some clay, so I won't get silicone on that side. So I just use some air drying clay and shape it around the horn, really carefully, because obviously the horn is also clay, so I can still deform it. To make it a little bit more hard, I put the horn overnight in the freezer, so that really helps. Some little pieces of clay are stuck on the horn, and so I clean it up a little bit with a wet brush. I just carefully brush off the little clay particles and make sure I get a really nice and clean surface. I also need the mold to really fit into the other part, so that's why I create some holes, and you will see later that this will actually create holes in one part of the mold and little stumps in the other part of the mold. These will grip into each other. Then I make a casing with some cardboard and then just pour my silicone over it. For the silicone, in my case, I had to mix two parts together, so part A and B, and then really stir it well, so it was one solid color, and then I could just pour it over the horn into my mold casing. This silicone cures really fast, it needs only about an hour or so. So then I got off the cardboard and also got rid of the clay. Really carefully, because I don't want to hurt the clay horn. And then I made the casing again and mixed some more silicone and poured it over the horn. To make sure that this silicone wouldn't stick to the other silicone, I first sprayed on some silicone spray, but you can also use Vaseline or something else that is greasy. And then the best part of making this mold is actually checking how the mold worked out. So I just get it loose, and as you can see, because I use the silicone spray, I can still take apart both pieces. And there you go! I have a two-part silicone mold. I really love how it turned out. It's flexible, as you can see, and it has the stumps on this side and the holes on this side, so it will fit into each other perfectly. Check this out. I love how it turned out. So now it's time to cast the horns. For this I use a two-part resin, and this resin will cure white and also really fast, so that way we can use it for the rotary casting. I just mix it up together really well, and then I will pour it in the mold. Carefully, I only use a little bit of resin because I only need a really thin layer. I try to get it on the sides while pouring it in. Every last drop. And then I just turn around the mold and make sure that the resin will go in every nook and cranny, because I want a whole layer. I also wear gloves for this because, as you can see, the resin can pour out a little bit, and you don't want this on your hands because it's a really nasty stuff. And it takes about 10 minutes before the resin gets white and cures. It also gets warm at this point, and now it's fully hard, so you can feel when it is curing, when it warms up. Then I mix another bit of resin because I want the horn to be a little bit thicker. Because it's hollow, it needs to be a little bit thicker, because otherwise the horn would break. And then I do the same thing. I just turn around the mold to get the resin everywhere. Now you can hardly see it because, well, the background is white and the resin is translucent. Ah, here you can see it. I'm just repeating the process. And I also put some cardboard on the mold to keep it in shape while pouring. And there you go, it's cured and hollow. Ta-da! And the best part is actually taking the horn out of the mold. So I get rid of the cardboard, and then, ta-da, take off the silicone and see how the horn looks like. There you go. One side is out. It looks perfect already. And the other side, just take it off, because the mold is flexible. This is really easy to do. And there you go. One horn done. And the mold can still do a lot of castings. So yeah, this is the horn, and as you can see, it still has some rough edges, but we can get rid of them. I just use a knife to get rid of those little fuzzies. And when the resin has just cured, it's still a little bit soft, so it's really easy to cut off these little bits. And then it's done! You made your horn! Congratulations! So, after watching this video, you now know how you can cast your own hollow horns. I hope you really liked this video and that you can use it in your own projects. And I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye! So have fun watching this video. Bye bye!